Hello guys, welcome back to another video. This is a interesting topic that I've been wanting to talk about for a while. So context, I'm gonna give a shout out to the Dungeon Dudes. They've been doing a series on multiclassing from a primary class to secondary classes of which ones does it best, like which ones are good. I don't know at this point if they're gonna cover Blood Hunter. Us as a group use Blood Hunter a good bit, so I thought, hey, why not make a video on this topic. So Blood Hunter, if you don't know, is from, I believe, Matt Mercer, and is a intelligence based character. You have to have a 13 minimum in intelligence, which apparently, and I found this out recently, it was originally wisdom. So it still has mechanics that involve wisdom. So we're simply going to go throughout the list. Blood Hunter, I'm just going to put in A. It's a solid class overall, like if you solo it. I don't know why there are 2 sorcerers or 2 rangers. But anyway, yeah, the only minimum requirement is intelligence. That has to be another 13. Everything else is free game. So, Artificer. Artificer's good. Better than regular? You know what? I think it's better than regular. And here is my reasoning. Hold on, I need to double check one quick thing. This is not scripted, by the way. So the reason why Artificer is strong, it has multiple subclasses that rely on its intelligence to make attack rolls, as well as you involve your Blood Hunter abilities with intelligence. They have the option to. If you wanted to, you could also get spell. Oh my god. Anyway, but yeah, Artificer relies on their intelligence. You can get infusions, which are really nice. Here's an interesting thing as well. This is the main class that involves with your main abilities with intelligence, with the minimum requirement, as well as that heals you, which is pretty good because with Blood Hunter you have to sacrifice your own health to gain Crimson Right abilities, amplify your blood maledicts. I don't think there's a bad combination of Artificer and Blood Hunter. Like, I think it's slightly better than regular flat out Blood Hunter. Anyway, Barbarian, for another thing we're doing at some point, for our D&D group, I'm actually playing a multi-class with Blood Hunter and Barbarian. So, Barbarian, you have to have a minimum of 13 in strength, which, keep in mind, Blood Hunter can be both melee and ranged, depending on how you want to build him. So having 15 strength isn't that hard to come up with. Now, I don't believe that you can reduce the damage of rage, even if you went with the Totem Barbarian. But the core reason why I got this is you sort of are giving Crimson Right to the Barbarian, which is adding decent damage because you might have better odds of getting potential crit, which that isn't the big core overall, but I wanted to mention it. As well, it's an interesting idea. It's a character that I want to play because it sounds like a neat combination. Anyway, Bard. Bard. See. Blood Hunters don't worry about their charisma. Sure, you get spell slots, but a lot of your stuff rely on intelligence or wisdom. As well as with the Crimson Right ability, for those that don't know, you can sacrifice a bit of your own health in exchange to apply a elemental effect that you currently have on your weapon. And until a short or long rest while you're holding that weapon, it'll keep that charged. Bards, unless you're going a swords bard, they don't really use weapons. So it isn't exactly a great combination. I still think it's okay. Like, you can still do decent supporting abilities with Bard, and again, being able to heal yourself is a pretty decent aspect, because Bloodhunters do not get anything related to healing, to my knowledge. Except for a couple, but it goes by your proficiency, and it's like a slow heal rate. Anyway, Cleric. Cleric is pretty alright. Again, you have the options of Bloodhunter to make your abilities rely on wisdom instead of intelligence. You still need that minimum intelligence requirement though. But the multiclass here isn't crazy good or crazy bad. I'm actually gonna put getting regular damage resistance is always not that bad. And there aren't rules. I mean, I'm not a DM, but not yet anyway. If someone asked me if Blood Maledicts counted as a spell, I would not count it as spells. I would just count it as normal class features. Cleric Bloodhunter. This could be an interesting choice, and I am going to check something. Does the Tempest Domain specifically, one of their core abilities is they can amplify the damage of lightning or thunder damage to maximum? Does that apply to only to spells? No, just damage. Okay. So there's a little synergy there. I don't think it's worth it. Your dice for Bloodhunter aren't gonna be crazy high. Like, the maximum you would probably do is like late game 2d10, maybe on a critical hit. I still think it's okay. Like, having your stuff based on wisdom is still fine. Like, I don't think there's a big issue with that. Druid. Okay. You have a very similar situation. Oh, you know what? Okay. As well as, depending on the subclass, you do get heavy armor with the Cleric. Druid, you do not, but you do get Wild Shape, depending on the subclass. I also wonder... You know what? That's actually not that crazy. Can you still hold your weapon while... I don't think you can. There's a build here. There's definitely a build here. I think it's worse than the Bloodhunter Cleric. Bloodhunter Druid isn't crazy. There might be a build or two. Fighter Bloodhunter is it S? I think it's just slightly above the Barbarian. I won't actually, no, it's above Barbarian. It's S. There is not a bad fighter subclass that would not pair well with Bloodhunter. Even not Arcane Trickster, the Eldritch Knight, it relies on your intelligence modifier, so you can give him spells. You also get Action Surge. Heck, even the Fighter Bloodhunter dip is pretty good. Like, So normally Crimson Right is just a D4 early on. A D4 damage. Combining this and like getting to like level 11 fighter to have 3 extra attacks. That is, and then action surge, that is 64. So that's pretty alright. And it goes up steadily. Monk. Okay. This is going indie. The core reason behind it, I know monks can use weapons, and again, here's the thing, you have to have the minimum of a 13 intelligence, so you're sacrificing a little bit of your points into wisdom or dex, and potentially constitution. But Crimson Right, now, I'm not speaking for every DM, but if you were to ask me, would I allow you to empower your fists with like the element, like the Crimson Right? I would personally allow it, but I know that's not everyone. So I'm going by that debate. You could debate it. I think it's D. Like I don't know what exactly you're wanting to get from the monk in order to help with the blood hunter, or vice versa. Paladin. You do have lay on hands pool. As well as a strength-based combatant. It's only going to be temporary for right now. You do also get heavy, or no. Okay, if you go in Blood Hunter, then dip into Paladin, you do not get heavy armor. You get medium, I believe. Let me double check that real quick. Then Paladin. Proficiency. Yeah, you only get medium armor for multiclassing, so that's not a big benefit. The spells are okay. You could bless yourself. Charisma, the issue is it's conflicting spell types. Intelligence, charisma. You want to focus on intelligence for Blood Hunter, you have to focus on charisma Paladin. I think it's a B. The thing that it has above the Bard is the Paladin is meant to be in melee combat, so strength is still going to be good for the Blood Hunter. And again, this is one of the healing options you can get, as well as it doesn't require any spell, so you can still smite. And to my knowledge, smite should still stack with Crimson Right, which means you could stack a smite spell, divine smite, and crimson smite. Is that worth it? It can be. It'd be really neat. There's probably decent like lore ideas you could do with that. Ranger. Ranger is better than Monk. You get better spellcasting. I think it's better than the Bard because again, it's just wisdom. And you could play a lot of Rangers, you know, like to play range. As well as a lot of Rangers do get bonus actions they can do. Blood Hunter doesn't have a lot. I mean, it's not dying, like for reaction types, but like bonus action stuff. Rogue. There is the Arcane Trickster. The only issue with Rogue, and I'm debating on having it be lower which I'm gonna actually adjust things a little bit, move that back. I think, I actually think there's more synergy with Ranger than Druid. In this case, I think there's more. The issue with Rogue is you can only sneak attack once per turn. And there isn't a lot of synergy. In the vein of, you don't gain much. You do get cutting actions, which is amazing for your bonus action. Absolutely amazing. You do get good spells of intelligence, which that does, I feel like that bumps it up a little bit. I think it's slightly better than the Druid. I think Ranger might be slightly ahead. Or actually, you don't actually know it's better than all of these. In fact, I think it's A. I think most options are pretty solid. Sorcerer. Here is an issue. Pure charisma, main intelligence. The biggest problem here is the fact that you aren't gaining much proficiency wise with Sorcerer. You do get spells on a stat that probably is going to be somewhat low. You do get abilities early though as well. And something that Blood Hunters don't get from, there's a subclass with Blood Hunter that gives them think of the Arcane Trickster. Imagine that, but for the Warlock. It's like Proficient Soul or something like that. And you get like 2 returning spell slots, but it relies on your intelligence. As well, I think Sorcerer is a D. It might be slightly better than the Monk. Actually, can you Crimson Right? Okay, you know what? I need to look at this real quick, because what I'm thinking, sorcerers get access to, I believe they get access to a spell called Shadow Blade. Shadow Blade. Is it second level? Scorching Ray. Shadow Blade. Finesse, Light, and Thrown Proper. Okay. Is there a limit, or is there a restriction on... Hold on, I need to look at this. Infuse your weapon strikes with elemental as bonus action, right, of one weapon that you're holding. So, okay. Huh. Okay, well, I am going to talk to my friend Plebes, who is normally our DM, and see how he would rule it. But there isn't a restriction on... Actually, wait, let me check the components. Okay. So, I would rule it as a very creative idea, and I would rule it as it would work this way. This wouldn't stack a Booming Blade, because you have to have a weapon requirement for that one. But this is interesting. This adds another perspective to it. Does it rely on your charisma to attack? Let's see it. I'm gonna see it real quick. I'm just gonna put this. Ignore what I'm doing in the vein of I'm just seeing how mechanically it adds up. Don't mind the armor stuff. That one, this is a backup character I was gonna make. So, what does this rely on to hit? What does this rely on to hit? Am I crazy? What do you use to attack with this? With the spell? Okay, for simplicity's sake, I think this would count as a dex weapon? I think? I really don't know. Huh. It doesn't... All it says is finesse, light, and thrown properties. I think this might go based off of your dex or spell modifier. Okay. I'm gonna give it a C. Actually, I'm gonna put it above the bard. Because if it goes based off of your dex, then this is actually a pretty alright one. Because also, something else I want to bring up, I don't believe you can meta magic a blood maledict. I would not consider that, again, I wouldn't consider that a spell. So, in that case, you wouldn't be able to twin spell a bind, like a bind. You know what I mean? Anyway, Warlock. Okay. There isn't... Okay. Better... Warlock is definitely better than the Sorcerer because you're able to apply Hexblade. But that is only one loadout. Like, that's only one subclass. You could... Okay. You could... Even though Crimson Right is the main benefit of Bloodhunter, what do you get when you don't really use that? You have a good investigator, right? You get some features. Like, let's bring this one up. You have decent features. You have a... You can focus on your intelligence. You do get a fighting style. But that's specifically ranged weapons. I think Warlock is just above Sorcerer. It's hard to make an argument for it, but I think this is the better spot for it. Hexblade is nice, but it's only one build. Wizard. I think it's just above the Barbarian. Here's my reasoning. So, with the Wizard, you gain the lowest hit die in the game. A D6. Or how many levels you get in Wizard. The thing that Wizards are good at, or this is great for, is with Wizard, you do get access to absorb elements as well as shield. Bloodhunters only get access to medium armor, or medium and light. And Wizards don't mind a good dex. I think I think I'm gonna go with my gut. I think this is I think this is where I want to keep it. As well as wizards also do get silvery barbs, and they could use it more frequently. As well as there are some subclasses that will guarantee it make it landing. I think this is where I want to go with this. I've not taken a look, like a massive deep dive in like, oh, subclass versus, like, these subclasses would be great for this. I've just mentioned a couple that could synergize pretty well with it. The yeah, this is where my soul lies. Or actually, do I want to adjust anything? I'm debating if I want to adjust these two, but I think I'm gonna stick with my gut, because you can focus on intelligence for your entire life once you get 3 levels in Artificer. Fighter, you still gotta worry about that, so whenever you're improving yourself, you'd have to focus on either strength or intelligence. Or dex as well. Whereas this, at some point, you will just need your intelligence. And truth be told, I love the idea of, okay, here's what I'm picturing. Blood Hunter with the Armor Artificer. You can use your Crimson Right on your punches with the suit's gauntlet, because that is, I believe that counts as a weapon. So you cut yourself, which is how this ability works. Like, you take a damage, one roll of your or Hemocraft die, and you get one of these following effects. Imagine you doing that, and like you get like a fire punch from your suit. I mean, as well as, Artificers, this Artificer doesn't get shield, but they do get absorb elements, which can also amplify your weapon attack as well. Although Fighter is still an interesting pick, I think I keep it this way. I think, yeah, you know what? This is what I'm going with. If you want to, say your own opinions on how I reviewed these, then please let me know in the comments. And hey, we are doing a bunch of D&D stuff. I've been having a lot of fun. I've been loving making characters so much. If you have an idea for another video similar to this, again, comment it down below. And remember, like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, YouTube. Nah. And I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye-bye.